I think I actually picked a fight with a guy because of her. And when I look at myself today, I'm like, oh my God.
Good evening, fellow viewers. Good evening, fellow viewers, and welcome to this special edition of Amba's 360, the talk show that we use to analyze the struggle with some people that we feel are very special in the struggle. This evening, I have with me a special guest, somebody who is no stranger to the struggle because he was there from the very end, Sisiku Christmas Ebini. That is the special guest that I'm welcoming today to analyze the struggle with him. And before I go over to Sisiku, I just want to take a moment to just give you a background of Sisiku Christmas Ebini before I even introduce him to come up. Sisiku Christmas Ebini was the founding members of the CAM movement, the struggle, the Cameroon Anglophone movement that was in the 90s. He was one of the organizers, the main organizers of the All Anglophone Conference 1. And after that, he did a lot of work with Albert Mukong. Albert Mukong is probably one of the names that everybody in the struggle knows. He was one of the lobbyists that traveled with him in his travels abroad to the US, and he returned back again in 1994, and he planned for the visit for Foncha and Muna and the delegation to the US. So Sisiku Ebini is somebody who, if we want to ask about the Ambazonian struggle for liberation, he's the right person to go to. I would personally struggle with all his credentials, but let me try his academic qualifications. Sisiku has got a master's in business administration. He's got a master's in marriage and family therapy. He's also has a master's degree in science and theology and a master's degree in social work. So somebody told me yesterday that our struggle needs counseling, and today we have got a struggle counselor who has been there from the beginning, whom I believe strongly that will counsel us in this struggle today. Sisiku, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, thank you. Is this Derek?
Yes, it's Derek, sir.
Okay, Derek, we were up all night with you, going back and forth. It's good to see your face.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us on Amba 360. It's always good to have a struggle living icon, you know, to talk to, and I think that our people would definitely enjoy this program with you, as we will take some time to analyze the struggle. You were there since the beginning. I think I will not be able to give justice to introducing you to our people. I would let you give a background of who you are vis-a-vis the struggle.
Well, and you said it all, Derek. And before I go, I mean, I know we are going to have a very wonderful chat today, and I just want to make sure I clear a few things that I might forget down the line.
Okay.
I have some 2 books here for Eric Tato. Eric Tato is one of those guys who make a lot of noise in the field of journalism in this struggle. Not that I agree very much with his journalism, but he showed a side of great patriotism. When I saw on his Facebook, and I shared all over yesterday, I saw on his Facebook that he's not only a person who talks in this struggle, but he went on board and made a very generous donation. I think it's $5,000 to the My Trip to Boya. So my promise to encourage our interim government in their fundraising effort is that I dedicated some copies of my book that I sent to people, some people who make substantial contributions. I've already been mailing out. So Eric, here are your 2 books that I'm going to sign as soon as you contact me. I would send them to you autographed to thank you and to encourage others to make contributions to My Trip to Boya. Secondly, before I go to what you asked me, Derek, I want to complain to everybody here that I was going to sit here wearing my Watana Wata t-shirt so that people can see our Watana Wata. But Derek, Dexter refused to give me his t-shirt for me to wear for this show. So anyway, when we leave here, we'll be arguing about that Watana Wata t-shirt with Derek. You see, let me make a disclosure here, because people go into the gutters of ethnicity and stuff. I am sitting to you here, one of the champions of the Anglophone causes for a very long time, when people could spit on our faces for even pronouncing the word bicultural federation. I am sitting here, the son of a Douala woman, Daido Douala, because I see people going somewhere and attacking people about their ethnicity. My mother is from Douala, beloved as much. I love my Douala family. When it comes to this struggle, it has nothing to do with ethnicity. It's about right and wrong. I don't think Anglophones hate Francophones, but the politics is what we are fighting against. And it is the politics. I left America in 1987, went back to Cameroon. and I was admitted. I was recruited into the civil service as an economics teacher. And immediately, the first day I entered school, I knew I was not going to be fine because the whole place was messed up. The whole place, the whole agenda was for us to live even in the creeks on the back and see our way instead of seeing South Cameroon. And this is what we are fighting against. And I was very lucky to have very dedicated South Cameroon in Douala. When I was transferred to Douala. And in Ondemba, I had guys that we started doing things and people like that. So some of us is in our blood, and I don't see how we can live anything else and making sure that we are not alive to take life to this level. And we want to help you means to encourage the new generation of leadership. Take this.
Thank you. Thank you for that brief introduction. There's a saying that whenever you sit and have a conversation with a Sisiku, it feels like a conversation that should never end. And I have that feeling already, you know. One thing that we haven't done often in this struggle is to go back to the 90s and relive the struggle. And to be one of the pioneers that started the movements that were fighting for our liberation when it was not popular, you know, when people would spit on your face when you were talking about our right as a people, our right to self-determination. I want you to begin with making us relive the 90s when the movement was the movement, because back then I think it was undiluted. So take us back through the 90s, the struggle in the 90s, just so that we, the young people, we learn, we understand the shoulders, the giant shoulders in which we stand on.
Okay, the 90s, if you know, and before 1985, I should say, issues about Southern Cameroon's liberation or agitation has been relatively numb and maybe within the circles or the head of intellectual conversations, not really in mobilizing people. So the first outside, besides a letter that was written by the Anglophone elites in Douala some time ago, the first outside that we got into some form of agitation was the lone wolf of Abel Mukong. And Abel Mukong was not necessarily agitating for, say, Southern Cameroon's independence or anything. He was agitating for political change in Cameroon. If you know, he spent most of his life in prison because he was opposing Ahidjo at the time when he was the prisoner without a crime. So from Abel Mukong came the new social order that was done by Fon Gojidinka in introducing the Ambazonian Republic. And that was timed, from what we get, Fon Gojidinka wrote this new social order with a group of other people, including Bernard Fallon and I think Frundi. And Frundi, from what we hear, is that Frundi was the one who crossed over to Nigeria to print out copies of the new social order. And the plan was that it was supposed to be read at the last CNU convention or Congress in Bamenda that gave birth to CPDM. And the person who was supposed to read it on the floor of that Congress was Professor Dr. Bernard Fallon. From what we get, he chickened out, did not read it, and Gojidinka proclaimed it, celebrated, and distributed it, and he was arrested. And from there started his life in exile. So I said this to say, before the 90s, we give credit to, even all of us did not want to hear that name Ambazonian. We fought against him. We said we cannot, nobody has a right to change the name of the country. and it wasn't the time. So in the 90s, before even the SDF was launched, there were Anglophones who were already educated. Then after the launch of SDF, we had Cameroon Anglophone movement that started in Douala under the leader, I would say the fake leadership, Dr. Enonchong. Dr. Enonchong was not really serious about the Anglophone problem. So from Cameroon Anglophone movement and in the 90s, we moved on pressure that the SDF was launched, and then tripartite conference, and then after the tripartite conference, the Anglophone, the Cameroon Anglophone movement took opportunity of that to converge to bring together all of the southern at the time to make a presentation, a wide presentation to the constitutional committee that BIA had put it, and that from where it is. So the AAC, let us understand this. The organizers of the AAC was Cameroon Anglophone movement. Cameroon Anglophone movement was big. So we had to bring in people who seem neutral, acceptable to and Southwest. That is South Moro, Anyway, Elad, and Chue in the cleanup because they were in the constitutional committee that was led by Open. So that's the 90s for you, and this is where, and then, after the 90s, we started fighting among our civic, AC, SCMC, and all that kind of stuff until.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that background, Sisiku. I think it's one of the things that the young us in the struggle, we feel that we started the struggle, and at times we even overquote or overstate our importance in the struggle, failing to understand that we are standing on the shoulders of giants like yourselves, the likes of late Albert Mukong and Chief Ayamba, people like Pamfo, all those who have gone before us. They built a great foundation for this struggle in a time which was really very unpopular. And again, now, Sisiku, coming back to the struggle today, something happened in 2016 and it started the struggle anew. And we are looking at it from our own lenses. The children of the 80s, in the 90s, we were still on milk and we never even knew that there was the struggle at that time. So I would like you to now give us a perspective of the struggle today, the last 3-4 years of the struggle as it is today. Just give us a brief analysis before we get into some of the questions that I would like to ask you.
Well, 2016 caught most of us by surprise because I'm sure before 2016, November 2016, when the lawyers went to the streets, most of us were still seeing their petitions and their agitations at intellectual level. We never knew that they would actively take it to the level that they took it into the streets. So we were all very happy. Those of us who were already living in despair that the energy of this struggle was dead, we're very happy. We saw these lawyers giving us hope and the teachers joining and all the trade unions and all that kind of stuff. So that was a great opportunity, and many of us jumped on it. And let me just say that one person, paradoxically, from 2016, that continues to help our struggle is Paul Biya. All his actions, even when we have problems within ourselves, the actions of Paul Biya are beneficial to us. Because he's just a devil, he cannot think right. If you imagine that people in 2016 were agitated to return to federalism, it was not even on their code that said return to federalism. They were saying that the international and legal structures. So that helped in radicalizing more of our people. Even the people who were not even against and one as all here got very angry when they thought that forces so-called law. We were very excited with the notion that people are going into the street. So even people who never had any intention of being political activists became political activists overnight. People who were not journalists became journalists overnight. People who were not jurists became jurists overnight. And in the mix of all of that, without anything of really no standards placed for anybody, we got exposed with this excitement and conspiracy theories and started going against each other. But in spite of that, Eric, this struggle was meant to stay. They arrested Bala. Immediately, we got Mark and Tanku, the man who calls it, Tanku took over consortium. We went on. Skakov was able. Skakov gave its own promises and problems too, because we were using Skakov as its which did not meet the standard, not meet the level of compromise for most people or existing leaders that way here prior to Skakov. So we still have those difficulties going on. But instead of that, what that for us to have been able to hold these people for close to more than down, people with young just
Sisiku, hello. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I just want you to take that over. The last minute or two, I couldn't get your sound, and I think our people were not hearing you. So just go over again. It's very clear now.
Yeah. Okay. What I was saying is that you asked me to talk about where the struggle is. The struggle is doing very fine. We have great challenges. Great challenges not only with the invading forces that we have on the ground, but we have great challenges with our own thinking and our own approaches to the struggle. Thank God, I don't know where these boys came from. Those boys on the ground. All what we do outside, say in the diaspora and all the like. Thank God that God bless us with these boys who could stand up and say, no, we're going to defend our land. And they've done a great job. If not of the ground game, I think many of us, many of the people making noise would have just packed shop and would be talking to each other. But where we are today, with what we are registering and the world getting attention because of the ground game, we can do much better. Because to tell you the truth, as much as we had so much noise all over the place, we cannot boast of 30% effective support from us, especially even in the diaspora, to this struggle. There's much noise. Just imagine what we are doing now without that much support. Imagine then if we can move to say we have 50 to 70, 80% effective support. And Derek, when I talk effective support, I am not talking of people who get angry on what they see that somebody has been killed. I'm not talking of people who say, oh, they want independence. I'm talking of people who are angry and they act. By now, where we are, every southern Cameroonian, especially abroad, who is not in the place of danger, should effectively, as a matter of principle, be having a monthly commitment that goes directly to this struggle. I am a supporter of the IG. I am a supporter of the IG. I channel my financial contribution through the IG. But I will not come here and say that other groups that have not embraced the IG are not relevant. I will not preach that. So don't come and fight the IG as a surrogate in the name of ADF. You cannot make contribution to ADF. I believe that ADF is doing does have some disagreements with the IG. I believe that Ebenezer, my dear friend Ebenezer Kwanga, is doing his own part. So to support them, don't support them by only throwing dirt on the social media. Go contribute to ADF. If you don't want to contribute to the IG, go.
It's a very clear message. It's a very clear message there, Sisiku, that you are passing. And I think that it's now that you are saying it from a place of wisdom, we all need to re-echo this. Every Ambazonian in the diaspora has it as a duty, to contribute first financially to the struggle. And your ideology, no matter what your ideological home is, whether you are supporting the IG or the AGC or Morris, you have it as a duty to contribute financially. And the slandering and the smear campaigns, like you have just said, are not helping the struggle. They're just pulling us back and draining energy. So what we have talked about the last 7-8 months, probably go back the last 9 months, we have talked a lot about unity, about collaboration. And I want you to give us some kind of what is your take on this unity? I mean, one day I said we have overused the word unity. So unity, collaboration, and the way forward for all those groups who clearly have differences in ideology, but it's very clear that the destination is Boya. We want to liberate homeland. We want to have a free Amazonia, but there's differences in ideology. What do you have to say about those two buzzwords, unity and collaboration amongst the groups?
Derek, it's a matter of honesty. I am sitting here. I am not a supporter or a member of ADF. I am not a supporter of a member of Akwanga's group, Dr. Akwanga. But I'll be a hypocrite if I say that because I support the IG, I would want to bury those other Southern Cameroonians. They have every right as me supporting the IG. And if we are honest in our engagement for what we want, unity and coming together is a must. If we are honest and say that we are playing games, Derek, if we are honest that it is Boya, that it's our destination, no matter how, you can take a plane, you can take the boat, you can take what, we will converge somewhere together if we really want to be successful. Do you need to be a rocket science, Derek, to know that it is division of purpose and ourselves that made it possible for these terrorists to keep us down for 56 years? Do you need to be a very educated man or a very wise man to know that when we slander and slay each other like we do, it is really not working very well, or is not going to get us. We can come together, and I have no doubt. And Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga and Dr. Chuayaba were young students when I was organizing the AAC1. They were young students. I respect them. I consider them leaders. My own term of leadership is past, is theirs. And I was always in communication with Dr. Chuayaba. We were always communicating. He and I quarreled after October 1st. I did not like comments that he sent to me after October 1st because I thought they were dishonest. But does that mean that I will not validate his contribution to our struggle, our independence? No. He's a fellow Southern Cameroonian like myself. I have to get along with them. I chat Dr. Ebini more than members of IT. And I have been calling. I have been, Dr. Chuayaba is listening to me. I have been calling. I've been to Dr. Chuayaba. I have got his brother, Martin Ayaba. He's my friend from Bala. If you look at the publication of the post of the 1993 All Conference that published, brother did have when I returned to West Africa, he did begin to stretch the center stage. So his brother is my friend. And Dr. South Africa now doing some work. I have been, and before even now, by the time that Sisiku was arrested and taken to wherever he's taken, I was always with him. Please, you are the first.
We lost you. We lost the point there, Sisiku. Would you say that again, sir?
I am saying that when Sisiku Ayuktabe, Julius Ayuktabe, was made the chairman of the governing council, I immediately told him to contact his other brothers of the other groups like Choyaba and Bo Herbert and all of those others. And he did. And I've told him that no matter what differences we have, the issue of division or all the noise that we are getting should never come from any member of his government. And he did. And you know that the gentleman did his best for the short time that he was here. And I'm talking here that please, anybody who is always taking it to themselves that the only contribution they have in this struggle is to spread smear campaign, make audios to say who told this, who did this. Anytime they see dirt, that's what they promote in this struggle. They are just doing us a disservice. And to tell you the truth, some of these people, sometimes, because we are living here, we are in danger. Even if you are in the diaspora, you have problems. They can come get you. Even in America here, they can come get you through different means. So some of the people making those noise are planted people. People who are planted to use the weapon of division to keep us apart from each other. I don't think that the problems between the IG, the ADF, and SYAC, the Youth League of Dr. Kwanga, and even with the group Morris, are that serious that we cannot solve. How are they serious? And when we are fighting a more serious problem, we cannot understand ourselves, and we say we want to go and build a nation together. No, they are not serious. I can pick up my phone anytime and talk to Sako. I can talk to other. My suggestion that I'm giving here now is that to move towards unity and collaboration, we need these three groups to suggest at least two independent members of our community, outside of their governing parameters, two independent people that they trust. The IG will do that, the other groups will do the same thing, and these people will come together as special masters and special mistresses. And then to this body, all the groups would submit their terms or their petitions for collaboration and unity. And this independent group would look into it and get a commitment from each group that a final report that comes from this independent group would be accepted conditionally. So that, because you see, even the guys who are on the ground, the guys who are doing such a formidable job, our nonsense here is going to crop in very soon. Won't handle this thing well. And I also look at that unity. That is you. There are people who otherwise would not do anything. But this unity between us not to make conditions or commitment to. A lot of people are used to that excuse. They are not giving money, all these things. Just push what I've said. Let's get complete all this because there's a lot of work. There are different groups that have different expertise in what they can do best. It doesn't matter whether you like Dr. Choya, but you don't like him. Forever, the governing council came on board. It's been talking about actions. We should follow, see that he might have expertise. He's not a military man per se, but you don't have to be a military man.
Thank you. Thank you, Sisiku. And we missed the last, we missed you when you said for us to be able to to craft a way forward, especially around unity and collaboration, which you have said is a must. You said if all the various groupings with their different ideologies can select 2 members of the society that they trust to represent their interests, and all send in a petition, and these two from each group with different ideology go to a place together and they sit there and they look at all these petitions, they will be able to, look through what all the groups want, their terms and all that, and they will be able to come back with a memorandum of understanding that would enable all the groups to have unity and diversity, but in purpose. And it will make the journey to Boya even much faster. I think it's a very great message there, Sisiku, that you have shared. And one of the elephants in the room in this struggle has always been fundraising. And yeah, that's been the biggest issue from 2016 when we are always short of money. So fundraising is one of the big agendas. I want you to share your wisdom around fundraising, especially my trip to Boya, which is probably our best strategy for fundraising that I've seen personally. So just share your ideas around fundraising in general and my trip to Boya.
Yeah, Derek, our importance here in the diaspora, I have always said that the gates of us traveling, that anybody, something that was preserved for the privilege going abroad became open for everybody who could struggle to come out here. Was God planting us here? God was planting us, preparing us for this moment. We were planted here as a resource to be the bank of this revolution. We were planted here, and our work is to furnish resources to those people on the ground. That is the biggest important, and through our resources, even the other things that we have to be doing, which we are doing to a certain extent, like diplomacy and all the like, you can't do that without resources, without money. So I cannot understand how any Southern Cameroonian, for us being where we are today, who is abroad, anywhere abroad, even if you're sweeping the streets, in America, you still have honor. You get your money. How people cannot make that commitment to say, even if it's $10, $20 a month, that you dedicate to this struggle for us to be free, for innocent people to stop being slaughtered like they are being slaughtered. So I am still pleading. When this thing started in November 2016, we and some friends, we gathered together, and SCNC Foundation as an independent group away from Mother SCNC was formed. And we had the 100 times 100 initiative, where people were contributing $100 every month. Some of them have kept doing that. I would not go to sleep if I get up and know that a month passes without me putting a penny into this struggle. We want so much from the interim government. We want so much from ADF. We want so much from ACYC. We want so much from all this group, Morris and all that. But they need resources. These people are already making a lot of sacrifices with their time and other things. So my trip to Boya, it's a great initiative. I have been paying my citizenship fee levy, and I'm sure many have been paying. And if you know, Derek, is that one of the things is that people know me on the ground, and I am always being contacted for individual projects, which I initiate for the guys in prison and other things. And then I am so happy with what the Aya Foundation is doing, and I make contributions to the Aya Foundation because why? Because even in this country, a government cannot do it. We have to help the government with other things. So my trip to Boya is a great initiative. I support it very much, and I've spoken to the Secretary of State for Communication. I said to give you guys a push. I have my book here, The Black Latino, that I'm going to sign an autograph copy, as much as I have some of them, to everybody, thank the people who contributed 1,000 to the my trip to. I am going to send an autograph copy. I've already started doing that for the my trip. So I am begging everybody, and to give that balance, I am 1,000% body and soul a supporter of the IG. If you don't want to contribute to the my trip to Boya, please, there are other groups that you can contribute. Don't use any excuse to stay quiet and be making noise. If you cannot contribute to my trip to Korea, contribute some. That money is still with the pool. It's somebody, a village saved. I'm not going to refuse their resistance because the ADF that I agree with. No. My is great, and I'm certain that the president asked for and Dr. Cho that was allowed.
Sisiku, I think we lost you. Let me interject a bit as your volume was a bit dwindling. So yes, I want you to again re-emphasize the message on the importance of every Ambazonian, no matter the ideological bearing, to ensure that they contribute their own quota into my trip to Boya, so that we can have this pool of money that we can use, that our leaders can use to really move the struggle forward. I want you to, you have said you are 1,000% a supporter of the IG. So I want you to, as Sisiku, give us an outlook, give us your understanding of the IG. There's a lot of expectations on the IG as our interim government right now. And I think that you have been sharing a lot of wisdom. I would want you to give us your outlook of the IG vis-a-vis the expectations that we have of the IG, what the IG is doing right, what you think the IG could even do better. So give us your own insight on the IG, sir.
one of the things that I want to make very clear here is that some of us who support the IG are not blind supporters. I'm not a barefoot hand clapper for anybody. I support the IG as an institution. Let's look at the IG as an institution, not necessarily because of the people who are there. Since the current IG, as it is, the constitution of the current IG, the people who are here, we can give them a break because we got a big shock from a whole cabinet, almost a whole cabinet being taken away from us. I have a passion for those people in the refugee camps. I used to have people on site whom I could send anything and they would do things for those families and those children. But since these people disappeared, it has been difficult for us to even get very warm contact and warm relationship with our people in the refugee camps. So it is just normal for us to give this new thing. I think Sako was just picked up from not being prepared to become the assistant, the acting president, and he would have to take some time to get a feel of things. My problem that I'll tell you with this IG is that they should know, they should take this as a warning. The fact that you are an IG does not make you a superior being over people who are not there. Does not mean that you know everything or you have every answer to every problem. Derek?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. What a person like Sisiku brought into this struggle for the short time he was here is the chemistry and the contact, the humility, and the way he connected with people. Now, I've been watching this IG very quietly, and I see sometimes some of the things that some of them say is crossing. I don't think they understand even their own rules sometimes. The IG's mandate is to get us to Boya. The IG's mandate is not to give us a constitution. Let them not cross that, because I see people doing that. It is not the IG's place. Even if they are doing a draft constitution and all the like, and they are honest, they cannot do a draft constitution without the other organization sitting with them. The constitution is a matter, except they want to have prepared to present something for people, but there are places that they don't cross. For instance, right now, the highest organ that I can think of in this struggle, besides the executive branch, which is the IG, is the Restoration Council. Derek, tell me, Restoration Council make noise and laws and all the like. Tell me that Christmas Ebini and other and very intelligent and savvy Southern Cameroonians would mortgage their rights to a bunch of people that you don't understand what they are doing to be in the Restoration Council to make laws for you when you don't even know who those people are? Because I see now people being appointed into the Restoration Council. That's already a problem. People should not be appointed to the Restoration Council. Constituencies should send their representative to the Restoration Council. I was walking and introduced a friend. I could.
Sisiku.
Yes.
Yeah, just take the last statement again over. We lost you.
Which one is that?
You were talking about the Restoration Council.
No, I'm saying that the Restoration Council is not supposed to have people sit down and being appointed into the Restoration Council. We are this level where we know our counties, and we have people in counties. People should go to the various counties and get them send representatives to the Restoration Council. If they are appointing, The IG is appointing people into the Restoration Council. It's just the same thing like Paul Biya appointing senators. We cannot start those type of practices right now. I was with a friend. I sit with a friend. Me, Christmas Ebini, I sit with a friend whom I drink with every day. Never knew that he's a member of the Restoration Council. What nonsense. What nonsense. And he told me, just because he was supposed to say, oh, Mr. Ebini, sorry, Sisiku, I'll be coming late to some function that we have with him because I'm going to a meeting of the Restoration Council. I said, come again? Restoration Council? This should not be happening. It should not be happening at all. And I think it is time this IG come to the people to get advice on how to constitute certain things. They should do the executive work and give all the powers to what the community has to do. All the thing of circulating constitution or draft constitution along the place is activities that is just a practicing. Maybe we are just practicing, but let nobody think that he's in an interim government or is an active president and we are going to go to Boya and he brings a constitution that he says he has worked with to present to us. That is the wrong way. It's not going to work that way. We have to respect. Again, I am critiquing this as a supporter of the IG and a respecter of all the other groups, leaders that are to disagree with me or not.
Thank you so much for that submission, Sisiku. Sisiku, I want you to talk about our abducted leaders, the prisoners in general. Now we are counting over 1,200 of our brothers in dungeons across La Republique and even in some prisons in Ambaland. I want you to talk a little bit to that. Then also, I know that you monitor social media a lot. There's a lot of noise and apparent division on social media. So I want you to just give us your thoughts around that and probably some advice like you have been giving on all the other things that you're talking about.
Derek, one of my comfort in this struggle and what keeps me going is that some of my brothers, our comrades in prison in Boya, in the two notorious prisons in Kondengi, in Yaoundé, they look for my number and they call me. And you know, whenever I get a call from somebody in prison and later on have to do them some favors and all that, like I take that as a blessing. I take that as a calling. How can a person be in prison and then he's looking for my number to call me? So you need to have contact with some of these guys and you find how we have won. Because the instrument or the weapon that La Republique has used and could use to defeat us is fear. We have defeated that fear. When you talk to your boys in prison and they tell you that, hey, you know, they can never get us. They want to do with the flesh. They can never touch our spirit. No man, what all of us felt individually. Are you getting there?
Yes, I lost you when you said we have overcome fear, which is one of the instruments that the regime has used to put us, you know, oppressed. So maybe you take it from there again when you were referring to our brothers in prison who literally have conquered fear.
Exactly, they have conquered fear, and I'm saying that I get so much inspiration each time we text with them and call. Sometimes we make calls and all that kind of stuff. Recently, I was talking with BBC Mancho and he complained about the guys in jail sleeping on wet floors and all the like, and they get sick very easily. So we with some good people, they are very good people in our midst. We had to raise some money and then get them some mattresses for both prisons, for both the prison where Dango is and the prison where BBC is, for them to be sleeping on. And those type of things is what keeps some of us going. And to see the strength of these guys on that prison, it makes me remember, Derek, if you read your Bible, You remember and the disciples, once when they were arrested and locked up, and an angel came and opened the gates of the cell, and they sat there and they were singing the praise of worship when the one of the guards were trying to kill himself, that the prisoners had escaped, and they told him, no, we're here, don't worry, and all that kind of stuff. So that is the strength of this revolution. This is the spirit of our people in prison. We have done everything, Derek, we've done everything to try to piece together, to try to get a little bit of something about our leaders, about Sisiku. That has been difficult. We just keep speculating and thinking of all sorts of things. It has been very difficult that this terrorist administration can be that efficient in keeping information away from other people, that we've not seen anything, not a sign, not a picture, not a video. It's mind-boggling. But we keep praying and we keep hoping. One thing that we should bank on is that the Cameroon government has taken responsibility for them. So whatever it is, we hold them accountable for their lives, their well-being. Nobody should think anything in the back of your head. Never come out here and tell me that they have been killed or anything of the sort, because Cameroon government has taken the responsibility that they have them alive, and they have to produce them someday. So that we really strive for leaders, and we keep praying that please, as we move, the spirit of those who have given the ultimate sacrifices of their life, those who are still fighting, those who are suffering in the bushes, the babies being born in horrible conditions, the pregnant women, the fragile elderly people, ABC Martin, Angola, comrades. Spirit shall rise, keep rising. We shall miss out those all very contribution. Contribute to people. And like the IG, you're not going to IG. Yeah.
Sisiku, we lost you. I think you moved away from the mic there, and thank you for that great and reassuring response about our leaders in prison, and you have talked about the spirits of the ones that you have spoken to and how they uplift you, your own spirits, and you have talked of the efforts that you always try to see that they get that humanitarian support. Sisiku, we have hundreds of thousands of our people right now in the bushes, according to all those human rights reports. Even the UN is reporting that we have now over 60,000 registered refugees in Nigeria. This is a humanitarian crisis. It is indeed a humanitarian crisis. And I've looked at struggles around the world, and when the crisis gets to a humanitarian level, all the activists, all the people involved, they make it a duty, they make it a duty to sing about the humanitarian condition until the organizations that raise all the money around the world for humanitarian issues, until they come to the table and do something about it. But I'm yet to see a lot of that in our social media space, and I wanted you to maybe as a parting shot, discuss the social media space, some of the discussions that are happening in the WhatsApp groups. They are far from, most at times, they are far from being contributory to moving the struggle forward. So that would be the subject that I would like you to round up with.
You see, there's noise, too much noise, and it is difficult. There's a good side to that, because one of the tools that the dictators use very effectively is the control of information. Now they don't have that tool very much. Now, another danger is that when people assume to have absolute rights without responsibility, it's a problem to society, to that individual and to society. Derek, if I live a life that I can just get up and I'm talking to you now and I can tell you stupid, I can accuse you of anything and not care about what are the consequences that I'm accusing you of, then that's not the society that our people are dying for. That's not the society that our people are suffering for. That is not the society that we dream to build someday in southern Cameroon or Ambazonia. There are people who are very, very much focused on only spreading information that are based on smear campaigns, information that divides us, information that add no value to our struggle. That's what they do. But we must rise up. Those of us who are in this thing, we must rise up. Don't let those things boil our blood. The 20 of us, 20% or 30% or 50% who are effective in this struggle, we should generate that positive outcome. Like I'm talking to you today, I'm calling on my brothers, Chuayaba and others. They are comrades that I know have put in and are still putting a lot in this struggle. I'm not going to dismiss them. Chuayaba cannot talk and then I go and say that he's using that just to raise money. No, this brother has been around for long, even before the interim government came. Give him some credit. You are giving me some credit now because of the long time that I've been in the struggle. You cannot dismiss that completely. And that's what they try to do for these other guys. But then again, it is wrong for Dr. Cho Ayaba and the others to allow their surrogates and even encourage their surrogates to be saying sweeping things and annoying and destructive things about people who support the IG or the IG itself. We should be honest to stand up to those things. I was talking to a member of the IG. I said, man, you guys stay away from the dirt that is out there. The fact that we support you guys does not mean that you should mingle in dirt. Stay away from the dirt. We are moving towards Buea, and the dirt is not part of moving towards Buea. So my advice is that, please, if you see, you cannot imagine. Let me tell you, so that there is something. Let me bring something here. Take the case of Milan. Milanata. Milan is a very intelligent guy. I do not say this to defend him, whether he's guilty or not guilty of things they are accusing him of. But Milan or anybody or Dr. Choyaba, I would defend them for the society that we want to build. The society we want to build is not one, and our people are not dying in a society where because I hit somebody and accuse him of a crime, he's guilty. It's wrong. We don't have to lose a life to have that kind of society. Milan is a very intelligent man who has been contributing to this struggle. There is different layers and different timelines of accusations against Milan. The first is started from the inception of Skakuf, was his overhand and how he was twisting hand to not allow the other groups on board. Then he went to his ethnicity. Then he went to him embezzling money. Then he went to him selling the leaders. Then he went to him eating. Who making videos about all of this? Subtext.
Sisiku.
Yes. Yeah.
Sisiku, you moved away from the mic.
Okay, where is the mic?
Yes, there where you are right now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Very well.
Okay, what I'm saying is that we cannot have a system of justice. Whether we have a government or we don't have a government, we have a country or we don't have a country. If we are taking this type of mentality into a country, we're going to have problems. No matter how I hate you, I cannot accuse you of things that I am not 1000% sure, especially this type of things. Milan has done certain things that I will not agree with him, that I would think is not right. Milan was accused, which I would say is still falsely, because I don't see anything that he did wrong. What I think Milan did wrong, even if Milan did not like the process, did not validate the process that was put in place by an institution that he helped create, which is the interim government, he should have just respected that institution by giving in to answer questions, even if he didn't believe with the process. He would have answered questions from that. Milan is my friend. Even if he's going to prison for doing anything wrong, he will still be my friend. But I have told him this privately, that he should have answered the question. He should have respected what Sako put in place. Also, I did not like some of the comments that he wrote in public about Sako and other personalities. He shouldn't have done that. I know that they are saying a lot of things to him. And also, even if a group like Scope was coming up, it was a little bit insensitive with all the distractions and noise that we were getting for him to spearhead that initiative. He should have taken a little back seat. And because the Scope and all what was still hanging around just incited the situation. But as to say, all these things that people see, videotapes, yeah, Milan has done this, Milan has done that. Ayim brought up this thing about meeting with Cheruma. I was chatting with Kum, the person whom Ayim stayed with in South Africa. I said that, did you meet with Cheruma because there was a counter accusation that you met with Cheruma? He said, no, I did not meet with Cheruma. He said Cheruma was never even in South Africa. Then I said, Ayim was staying with you. Where did he get the notion or the accusation that Milan met with Cheruma? He said he did not know. That is Kum, who is Ayim. So we should be very careful.
You moved away from the mic again.
Are you getting me now?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting you. Go ahead.
Okay. So we should be very careful. And some people have made it a point to be focusing on all of this noise and empty noise. And I was telling you about Dr. Soxen Kongo. And now there are people, he's all over something that they put water, Megan Kongo and all the like. I don't have time to be watching on that, watching such a person. Dr. Kongo himself, Soxen Kongo himself told me, before even they arrested our leader, he reported Cho Ayaba to DSS. So if there was any person, and I defended Soxen Kongo because he was the first person whom they accused and outed for reporting or for setting up our leaders. And I told people that no, you cannot just accuse somebody like that. Soxen Kongo was taken off some groups and all the like because they said they could not trust him. But he is now one of the main lynchmen. He is now one of the most hit men against Milan. It's not fair. It is not right. Like I said before, they are going after Milan's paternity or maternity or whatever. I am here strong. There's nobody who can doubt. I am here strong Southern Cameroonian looking for Southern Cameroon's independence. My mother comes from Douala. And I can feel what Milan is feeling because I have been a victim. When I came here and Fosom became the leader of the SCNC, he used it to make all kinds of stories about.
Sisiku, you moved away from the mic.
Where is this your microphone that I'm moving
away from? It's right there where you are right now.
Dexter.
It's right there.
Dexter,
yes.
Come and show me this microphone. They say I'll keep moving. Do I have to just stay tight in one spot like this without
it's okay. It's right there. It's right there, sir.
Right? Yeah?
Yes.
Am I on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to make sure. Even if a fly is following me, I'm not going to shake my head.
That would be nice.
Okay, so I'm just saying that, please, If you care about us really going and building, look at Kigali today. I was watching a video about Kigali. I mean, those people have a good spirit now to build their country after all what they are going through. But if we start getting into all these things very soon, if we are not careful, even the ethnicity and all this divide, maybe northwest, southwest, might be cropping in through all of these things that we are doing. So we have to be very careful. Let us stop. If you don't want to contribute to this struggle, there's nothing that you can do. Stay quiet. If you cannot rise up every month and give something, if you cannot send a good message to encourage our people on the ground, if you cannot make any contribution, go and find a place and sit quiet. And those people too, honestly, please, these people have legs and we get this problem because you good people who contribute keep sharing this nonsense. Do not share. When you read it, spit on it and throw it out, delete it from this thing. Do not share it anywhere. Don't send it to groups. Don't give it legs. These people don't have any reason to get our attention if they are not focused on it. Do not share. Support ADF if you want to support ADF effectively, not only by mouth. Support the IG if you are supporting the IG effectively, not only by mouth. Support my friend and junior brother Akwanga, Ebenezer Akwanga, if you have to. Support effectively. Not say that as support and then you don't give anything, or you give small $10 or $100 in 3 months or 1 year and you say you've contributed. No, this is a regular thing. You must make a commitment every month. You don't, even when you after you contribute to prayer, we will still have to be doing other things. So that's right.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sisiku, for joining me this afternoon at such a short notice. It's sad that our time is up, but you have shared a lot of wisdom with us. And clearly, some of our viewers are saying we must invite you again for maybe a lengthier conversation so that you can share insights on some of the things around the struggle. And I hope that when I extend that invitation again, or when some of our other programs extend that invitation, you will be graceful enough to come up again and share some more insight. I want to thank you for joining me. Before you go, I would say you should just give a parting message to our people in Ground Zero, the boys that are fighting, the ones that are in the bushes, the ones that are now in Nigeria as refugees. Give a parting message to all of our people in the various spheres.
Well, Derek, thank you very much. Although I've been a big supporter of this network and also contributing member and all the like, this is my first time coming on board the SCBC and I enjoyed it. And I want to thank you guys for the work you've done, because your coming on board this struggle really took it to a different level. And I'll continue to plead with you guys that you should be open to especially most of our other groups. And there's no reason why you shouldn't have Dr. Ebenezer Kwanga and Dr. Chuayaba, Bo Herbert. You'd see I disagree with Bo Herbert on other things, but he can articulate a lot of things and he can do a lot of, provide a lot of information. So please let it be open. Let's start, as much as we can have some control, let's start practicing some of the images on how we would want our new society to look like. I want to sincerely, as much as we feel your pain for our people in the ground, in the refugee camps, those in exile in Nigeria and other places, those in the bushes and the forests, as much as we feel your pain, as much as we cry for what you're going, it gives us joy and hope and courage that you are willingly accepting to suffer, to die, and to move from your comfort for us, for our future, for our nation, for our country. To those in prison, and feel your spirit. We all do. And you guys get morning and say, hey, I think this is for all of you. So, how long it's going to take, but we Thank you, guys. No matter how much money we contribute, there is no way. There's no way we can give you everything we have. To our brave, what can I say? Tanawata. Yes, Tanawata. You guys.
Sisiku, I'm sorry, we didn't get your last words because you promised us that you will not move again, and you moved.
What did you get? What did you get, Derek?
So yeah, now you are on the right spot. So share those last words.
A long time to tell me that you were not getting me, Derek.
No. It was just the last. It was just the last few words, sir.
I was saying a lot of nice things, and you said you didn't get them.
No, we missed the last few words, but you are on the right spot.
Which one did you end with, so that I can take it from there?
You concluded by thanking the people in the refugee camps, the ones in the ground zero, for standing up and wanting to die, so that we can have freedom and have a truly free country. And you were just saying that those sacrifices that we in the diaspora must also meet with a level of commitment in the struggle. And then the last thing that you said was Watana Wata.
Oh, you hear the Watana Wata? I wanted to make sure that you hear the Watana
Yes.
Wata. Yes. So you can hear me now, right?
Yes, very well.
I'm not shaking now where I am. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I said Watana Wata to our brave boys on the ground, brave boys and girls, because they are not only boys, brave boys and girls. You make us proud. And we're praying for you. Thank you so much for your sacrifices to this struggle. And also, a special thank you to our frontline leaders, Sako of the IG, Ebenezer Akwanga of SUYL, and Dr. Choayaba. So thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And indeed, I have made that commitment. Comrade Ebenezer Akwanga is here in South Africa, and I have invited him that whenever he has time in his busy schedule, he should come through so that we can interview him. So that invitation, always I've said, all the frontline movements, everybody in this struggle who has something to tell our people in ground zero, it's important that you call us up and we set up, so that you can speak to our people directly. There's no need for us to have a medium, and then we are not communicating via that medium. So thank you again once more for joining us, sir.
I'll say that I have been on fundraisers with Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga, and when we saw each other, we gave thumbs up. So there's no hard feeling, no animosity. Let people not magnify the differences to make it look what it's not.
No, thank you so much, sir. I would leave you now to enjoy the rest of your afternoon, to get back to your busy day. I want to thank our viewers for joining us for this powerful interview, and definitely I will be inviting Sisiku Christmas Ebini again for another discussion. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now.
the not-so-distant past, the largest part of the world's drylands were wooded. Southern Spain was one big forest, the African Sahel densely wooded. The bare, dry Pyrenees in Italy had thickly wooded slopes. And the Lus Plateau in China was covered with a mixed forest. Jordan, at the crossroads of Western and Eastern culture, had forested hills and valleys. This was not in prehistoric times. On the geologic time scale, we're talking about yesterday.
Look at this place. It was an amazing civilized situation once, and just total collapse. It's gone. And that's the situation we're facing today. We have a global